Never ask a question.
I think that
Use the Soviet spy trick to get the truth instantly.
So elicitation is about using statements instead of questions. Let's say you and I walk into Whole Foods, which is,
Mhm.
we walk in there and there's, let's say there's a young lady stocking produce.
Mhm.
And you get in there and I say, all right, Stephen, your goal is to go figure out how much she makes in 60 seconds, and you're not allowed to ask any questions or be awkward. But while you're walking, you say, I just read this article online that says all Whole Foods employees just got bumped up to $26 an hour. No, I make 17. So now she doesn't feel like she's been pressed or questioned about how much she makes. Or if you, let's say you got into an Uber tonight and you said, I just read this article that Uber drivers were one of the top most highly satisfied employees in the country. You're going to get a correction. So triggering a need to correct the record is one of the easiest ways to use elicitation, but it's only one. Statements are always going to be better than asking pointed questions because a person feels like they're volunteering information. But that elicitation is powerful because we're not being asked questions. So our brain doesn't set off little security alarms. And this is how Soviet spies would get information from a 19-year-old US Navy sailor in the early days of the Cold War. They say, I know that the German submarines could outrun you because their propellers are 22. And the sailor, slightly drunk, turns around and says, no, they're not. And starts giving up all this information just to correct the record. And that's all they did back then, was just correcting the record. I'm triggering this need to offer some kind of correction to information that's inaccurate. Somebody at that company will get approached at a bar and somebody will say, yeah, I heard you guys are moving between March and April. And they'll get corrected and they'll say, no, it's actually February, but we're not really supposed to talk about it.